Good morning, friends. I extend a warm welcome to all the dignitaries here. Okay, I'm starting the program today. आज की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में माननीय केंद्रीय राज्य मंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार डॉक्टर जितेंद्र सिंह, विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी मंत्रालय, विज्ञान पृथ्वी विज्ञान मंत्रालय, प्रधानमंत्री कार्यालय, अंतरिक्ष विभाग, परमाणु ऊर्जा विभाग तथा कार्मिक पेंशन और लोक शिकायत मंत्रालय के राज्य मंत्री डॉक्टर जितेंद्र सिंह जी का हार्दिक स्वागत है। साथ ही हमारे साथ हैं प्रोफेसर अजय कुमार सूद, प्रधान वैज्ञानिक सलाहकार भारत सरकार, डॉक्टर एन कलैसेल्वी, महानिदेशक CSIR और सचिव वैज्ञानिक और औद्योगिक अनुसंधान विभाग CSIR, डॉक्टर एम रविचंद्रन, सचिव पृथ्वी विज्ञान मंत्रालय अर्थ साइंसेस, डॉक्टर अभय करंदीकर, सचिव विज्ञान एवं प्रौद्योगिकी साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी विभाग, और डॉक्टर राजेश गोखले, जैव प्रौद्योगिकी विभाग। आप सबका हार्दिक स्वागत है। पृथ्वी विज्ञान मंत्रालय के साथ साथ सभी विज्ञान विभागों की ये संयुक्त प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस पिछले 11 वर्षों में देश की वैज्ञानिक उपलब्धियों पर प्रकाश डालने के लिए आयोजित की गई है। इस प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस के पहले विभिन्न विभाग के सचिव अपने अपने विभाग की उपलब्धियों के बारे में एक शॉर्ट प्रेजेंटेशन और रिमार्क्स प्रस्तुत करेंगे। उस तत्पश्चात माननीय मंत्री जी से निवेदन होगा कि वे मीडिया को संबोधित करें और प्रश्नों के उत्तर दिए जाएंगे। सबसे पहले मैं डॉक्टर अभय करंदीकर, सेक्रेटरी DST, को निवेदन करता हूं कि वे अपना प्रेजेंटेशन प्रस्तुत करें।
Thank you very much, Honorable Union Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, and all my uh, fellow secretaries, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, Professor Ajay Sood, Secretary DBT, Dr. Rajesh Gokhale, MOES Secretary, Dr. Ravi Chandran, DSIR Secretary, Dr. Kalai Selvi, all the distinguished guests and my media friends. I'll just give you a brief overview of what has been the achievement of the Department of Science and Technology in the last year. The Department of Science and Technology is one of the nodal ministries for the extramural funding across academic institutions. It has spearheaded research and innovation in the country, build R&D infrastructure, and also strengthen the India's global leadership. In last 11 years, we have spearheaded 5 key national missions, and I will talk about them. Have transformed the scientific infrastructure landscape through the development of this infrastructure across academic institutions, universities, and research labs. Nurtured scientific talent and developed human capacity right from school level innovation to supporting women in science, enabled the innovation and deep tech innovation ecosystem and entrepreneurship through our incubators and startup support schemes, and elevated the India's position in global science through strategic collaborations and participation in several mega science projects. In terms of human capacity building, we led a flagship program, which is Innovation in Science Pursuit for Inspired Research, that is INSPIRE program, which has several components at school level, Manak, undergraduate scholarship, PhD fellowships, and faculty fellowships. And in the last 11 years, we have supported close to 8,000 PhD fellowships, more than 1 lakh undergraduate fellowships, about 1282 faculty fellowships, and more than 7 lakhs school level, innovation students. The Department of Science and Technology also runs a very flagship Women in Science program. There are several components of this. The details are there in the booklet, that has been provided to all of you. But to summarize, we have supported 5,000 women scientists, either through the postdoctoral or doctoral research programs. Also at the school level, through the Vigyan Jyoti program, 82,000 plus girls have been supported to study STEM education. And through our QE program, we have supported several women-specific institutions. As I mentioned, we in the last 11 years, we had several key missions. One, of course, jointly with Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, we were part of National Supercomputing Mission, which has established the India's supercomputing network. Then, the National Mission on Cyber Physical System. We have set up 25 mission hubs across the country, and now in the last 1 year, we have upgraded 4 of them to the technology translational research parks. We have also set up 4 mission hubs in quantum computing, quantum communications, quantum sensing, and quantum materials and devices. And as a part of our national quantum mission, we have also supported 8 startups which have been working in various areas of quantum technology. The National Quantum Mission supports 14 technical groups and more than 150 researchers across more than 40 institutions in the country. We are a part of National Action Plan on Climate Change, and under which we led 2 national missions, one on sustaining the Himalayan ecosystem and other one on strategic knowledge for climate change. And in both these missions, we have contributed to building knowledge support, funding climate research, and generating knowledge networks and information systems. As all of you know that in 2021, the government of India liberalized the geospatial sector through the geospatial guidelines, and the national geospatial policy, which was approved by the cabinet in 2022, set the vision for using mapping and location data in governance and development. So this was a key reforms which was undertaken in the geospatial sector, not only in terms of liberalizing the geospatial sectors, but also reforming the Survey of India. The National Geospatial Mission subsequently was announced in this budget, and we are now in the process of getting the cabinet approvals for that to implement many of the objectives of the National Geospatial Policy. In terms of technology translation and innovation ecosystem, Department of Science and Technology was one of the important ministry for nurturing the startup ecosystem in the country. When the Honorable Prime Minister gave a clarion call of Startup India in 2016, the DST launched the Nidhi program, that is National Initiative for Developing and Harnessing Innovations. Through this program, we have supported 9 centers of excellence, 39 technology business incubators, and 48 inclusive technology business incubators. And through these incubators, we have supported more than 5,000 startups, which has led to 30,000 plus job creations. And as you know that almost all of these startups are in the technology areas. There are several components of the Nidhi: the entrepreneurship in residence, the seed support program, the Prayas, and all of them have been hugely popular among the first generation entrepreneurs. The Department of Science and Technology has taken several important initiatives in the past decades to set up world-class R&D infrastructure across India in both premier academic institutions as well as universities. For example, in terms of through FIST program, we have supported 400 institutions and 1,100 departments in terms of facility creations. In PERS program, we have supported 91 universities for their R&D infrastructures. We also launched a very flagship program 3 years back of Sathi, which is created a national level facility. In terms of international science collaborations, we have several bilateral and multilateral collaborations, and I will not go in details of this. But I would just like to point out some of the mega science project of which India is a consortium partner, and Department of Science and Technology has enabled this. For example, 30-meter telescope, square kilometer array, FAIR, CERN, LIGO, and now a national solar telescope will also come up. In science heritage and initiatives, we have been supporting bridging traditions with technology, and under these programs, we have supported several thematic centers. We have funded indigenous technology for protection of heritage structures and also for reviving heritage through science and innovations. Finally, as you know that the establishment of Anusandhan National Research Foundation was a very transformative step in the entire R&D ecosystem. ANRF itself has launched several R&D programs, and the details are there in the booklet which has been provided to you. But this year budget also made a major announcement of setting up a research development and innovation fund for boosting the private sector R&D, and this fund is going to invest in this year in the private sectors. The fund will be housed within ANRF as an independent business unit, and it will primarily encourage the private sector to scale up research and development in the sunrise domains. So thank you very much. These were briefly the achievements of the Department of Science and Technology. The details are there in the booklets, and in summary, I would just like to mention that we have not only supported research development and innovations, R&D infrastructures, and have also supported the startup and innovation ecosystems. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I must mention that as per the schedule, only 6 minutes have been given for each presentation.
No, but Abhay has taken exactly 11 minutes for 11 years. So I think.
So it is once again requested that please adhere to the time limit because of the paucity of time. So now I request Dr. Rajesh Gokhale, who is the Secretary DBT, to make his remarks through presentations.
Minister for Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, respected PSA, Professor A.K. Sood ji, my secretary colleagues from various departments, Sri Jitendra Ojha ji, all the dignitaries of dais and friends. I thought, Department of Biotechnology, Honorable Minister constantly says has emerged as a very key player of S&T ecosystem. And therefore, to begin with, what I thought I should play is a kind of small jingle of a 30-second that provides a perspective of what department is doing about it.
जैव प्रौद्योगिकी से कर रहे हम खोज,
नई ऊंचाइयों को छूता भारत हर रोज।
जैव तकनीक की धारा में हमें है विश्वास, विज्ञान का सम्मान करके आओ करे विकास।
इस एक छोटी सी जिंगल के बाद, maybe I thought I will give you some statistical features of what DBT has been able to do over the various missions and innovations and entrepreneurship program. I think largely we've contributed, and this tells you how the ecosystem has grown. It's become so vibrant and so active now in the country that it tells you something about what it has done. So for example, more than 25,000 publications have come out of this. in last 11 years, about 1750 patents, and this is about DBT only actually. Of course, GST, Earth Sciences and CSIR and other institutions must have contributed a little bit more as well actually. More than 62,000 of human resource trained in this time, about 1,800 products and technologies being emerged out of it. About 5,530 projects have been sanctioned. The bioeconomy now, which is BIRAC's prerogative, is actually of $165.7 billion industry now. There's more than 10,000 biotech startups supported. More than about 95 bioincubators are present in the country. 800 biotech products in the market actually, which you can buy on online products. And about more than 7,000 crore of private fund raised by various startups ecosystem, giving you an opportunity of how it has worked. So about 7 vaccines have been developed, which is unprecedented for the country actually in last 11 years. Never before country has seen such mammoth changes. 3 speed breeding platforms has been established. These are platforms that allows you to do day-night cycle changes in a shorter period of time so that you can manage life cycle plants. More than 10,000 Indian human genomes mapped. 56 improved food crop varieties released, and about more than 3 lakh COVID-19 genome sequences have done. So it gives you a little bit of an overview of what we have been able to achieve over the period of time in a spectacular fashion, actually in government supported ways. I think you already have a brochure of all the in your own bags there, but what I will leave you with a small video actually that covers entire gamut of activities that I wanted to talk to you about. Volume.
20वीं सदी में बायोटेक्नोलॉजी और बायोमास का कॉम्बिनेशन बायो इकोनॉमी के रूप में विकसित भारत की बुनियाद का अहम हिस्सा है.
India's bioeconomy is a thriving tree that has reached pioneering heights in the past decade. This growth mirrors the Department of Biotechnology's commitment to fueling scientific curiosity and an entrepreneurial spirit. Since its inception, the DBT has played a pivotal role in funding research across the nation. The department, along with its PSU BIRAC, is empowering the startup ecosystem across the country to stimulate and enhance strategic research and innovation capabilities of the Indian biotech industry for building the Indian bioeconomy. Striding towards the national vision of Viksit Bharat, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and enabling circular bioeconomy, the Union Cabinet, under the visionary leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, has approved the Department of Biotechnology's Bio E3 policy for green, clean, and prosperous India, and the BioRight scheme to accelerate research and innovation, industrial and entrepreneurship development, and poise India as a global biomanufacturing leader.
Just as the industrial revolution of 1990s was IT driven, the next revolution of the 21st century is going to be bio driven.
The center state will join hands in establishing Bio E3 cells aligned with state priorities, resources, and strengths for a nationally coordinated approach. We also established the National Agri-Food Biomanufacturing Institute, India's first dedicated biomanufacturing institute. Our efforts cultivated innovations, fostering nationwide capacity building. Taking a giant leap in genomics, Genome India, DBT's national project to catalogue the genetic variations of representative populations across India. for a better understanding of our health and diseases completed. The launching of Indian Genome Dataset, capturing the distinct genetic variations of its diverse population, opens up research for advancements in personalized healthcare and medicine. In the fight against communicable and non-communicable diseases, we launched data-driven initiatives and proved India's prowess in vaccine research and development, positioning us as the largest vaccine producer in the world. We successfully developed therapeutic interventions, including lentiviral gene therapy, and concluded the country's first indigenous antibiotic, nephromycin, for combating antimicrobial resistance. Affirming our dedication towards a sustainable future, we are transforming the agriculture sector by promoting climate resilient and high yield crop varieties. DBT has started sowing the seeds of progress, empowering our Annadatas through the development of anti-pesticide bodysuit Kisan Kavach. In the realm of clean energy and environment, we remain committed to a sustainable future. We have simplified biological research, making it more accessible and seamless by creating world-class infrastructure. And in all of this, we have evolved strategically to bring together the best minds onto an apex platform called BRIC. We are shaping the future by nurturing individual capabilities and forging teamwork through ideation, innovation, immersion, and collaborative I3C BRIC PhD research programs. By forging key partnerships globally, we have fostered research, policy implementation, and industrial promotion. The Department of Biotechnology, India, aims to be a top global biomanufacturing hub by 2030. The DBT is proud to lead from the front line, empowering biosolutions, delivering a better tomorrow.
Thank you. I leave you with this new acronym of DBT, which is delivering a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I now call upon Dr. N. Kalaiselvi, DG CSIR and Secretary DSIR for her presentation and remarks.
Namaskar, Vanakkam and pleasant morning to each and every one of you. Most respected and Honorable Minister of Science and Technology and the Vice President of CSIR Society, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji. Distinguished PSA sir, respected fellow colleagues, Oja ji, Science, Technology and Innovation Fraternity, present media, well wishes. I'm extremely happy to be here and to spend a few minutes in just explaining you what and all this DSIR, which is a combination of DSIR as a department, CSIR as an autonomous organization, CEL as a PSU, NRDC as another PSU, like this, all the 4-member team, what and all we have done in the last 11 years, I'm just going to give you a glimpse of our accomplishments. So I'll just take you through a journey of my presentation for 1 or 2 minutes quickly. Then I'll also be happy to share a small video that will be self-explanatory. Apart from all these things, the complete details are given. Pen drive, this is also shared. So this gives you all the details. So coming to DSIR, the arrangement is like this. CSIR is not a funding organization. CSIR is a performing and implementing arm. Therefore, CSIR comes up with a kind of a technology development. Motto is we have to serve to Indian industries through indigenous technologies. Therefore, technologies are getting developed from CSIR. And the technologies are reaching MSMEs and startups through different channels. NRDC is one channel. And whenever the technologies we are reaching a particular TRL value, CEL is there to scale it up to a higher level. And DSAR is there to recognize the industries who can really take it up. And they are taking care of the registration of industries also who can really play and do justice in the field of R&D. So with this kind of a background, DSAR, I have taken only one example, CRTDH. Through this scheme alone, number of beneficiaries, I would say in the name of MSMEs, 2,582. On the whole, I can say around 10,000 beneficiaries, they have thoroughly enjoyed DSAR's handholding. And in the case of NRDC, again, 11,000 startups, they have really helped. Within our own organization, NRDC is taking care of the startups, and DSAR is taking care of the MSMEs, and CSAR is taking care of the technology development. This is our portfolio. So NRDC, now they are coming up with a kind of a one-stop shop for startups, and they are coming up with the national technology assessment related design clinics as well as certification also. We call it as NETRA. And coming to CEL, once CEL was considered under disinvestment, now it has grown up to the level that it has acquired the status of Mini Ratna. And in this, during this particular period itself, their PBT is around 100 crore, and profit for the last year alone is 74 crore, and the dividend payout in the last 1 year is 22 crore. And coming to CSAR, it's a big family again, 10,000 scientists are there, my family members are there. Therefore, I may not find time. Therefore, for each year, I have taken one milestone technology. For the 11 years, can I show you 10 milestone technologies? That is what I have given an attempt here. For the year 2014, CSIR helped this country to come up with the wax de-oiling technology, by means of which Numaligarh refinery, they are now practicing this technology at the commercial scale. I have taken up wherever our technologies have reached the full commercial status only. I'm just giving you here as success story. And in the year 2015, CSR came up with the indigenous technology for hydrogen hydrate. Today, in the H complex, 10,000 per annum, 10,000 ton per annum production of hydrogen hydrate is taking place. And the third one is in the year 2016, it is again a game changer. CLRA came up with a kind of a waterless chrome tanning technology, and it is very popular. And in 17, it is IIP's technology. It is first biofuel powered flight. Actually, SpiceJet has used, even our Republic Parade time also fly past aircrafts. Last year also, 2 of the drone air aircrafts, they used only CSR IIP's sustainable aviation fuel only. And in the year 2018, we have come up with a kind of a purple revolution. Special thanks and the credit goes to the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology. So the Jammu and Kashmir, and now it is spreading to other parts of the country also. More than 3,000 agri startups are really getting benefit out of this purple revolution through the lavender cultivation. And in the year 2019, it is the AGR technology. So in Hyderabad, in the vegetable market, Bovanpalli market, so it is the 10 ton per day, it is able to produce the cooking gas from the vegetable market waste. So these are all the, I'm talking about only the practical installations which are running successful as on date. And in the year 2021, we came up with a kind of the first maiden flight of ANSA new generation NG aircraft. And India's first hydrogen fuel cell bus also, we were able to demonstrate at that point of time. 21-22, again, we had number of success stories with respect to our steel slag road technology. And in the history of India, this is the first time India got the steel slag award for the first time in the international arena because of this particular technology. 22-23, again, we introduced the e-tractor, Prima. It is a women-friendly e-tractor. So we have been developing and launching tractors. This is the first time we have launched the e-tractor. And the year 23-24, we have come up with a kind of a rapid testing kit for sickle cell anemia. 2 days back, the country was really recalling the importance of eradication of sickle cell anemia. So we are now coming up with a kind of a fast analyzing kit. It is a molecular diagnosis kit. So the kit is going to cost less than 100 rupees. It is going to be available in market from this year onwards. And in the case of 24-25, we are so proud we got the trademark for 2 of our technologies in the name of CSIR. One is steel slag road technology, the other one is Indian Standard Time. 2 days back, you would have even read in the newspaper, One Nation, One Time, NPL, they are coming up with a kind of a success story with respect to the atomic clock. So if at all, even the GPS, that particular facility is denied also, India need not worry about it in future because we are coming up with our own indigenized time management also. And like the way Dr. Rajesh was telling, CSR products are available in the market. Here I have given a small photograph, a glimpse of a combination of few products which are there in the market. So Aroma Mission, I have already talked about. It's not going. Yes, yes, I'm going to it. No, it's not moving, sir. Sir, I song. I didn't use that song, but
If you have in your mobile,
sure, sir.
Kunal has it. Get it. If he can, by the time ma'am finishes, you can get it. Ask him to send you.
Sure, sir.
You also prepared a beautiful lavender song, totally indigenous, composed, sung by one of the local guys from the fields.
Can I think 6 minutes only is the time given. I have already taken 4 minutes. I think I wish to play the 8 minutes over. So I think volume is not there. Can someone help me to get the volume?
As the government led by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi completes 11 transformative years, India stands taller, driven by innovation, self-reliance, and scientific progress. Aligned with this vision, CSIR, the nation's innovation engine, has been at the forefront, delivering breakthrough technologies to achieve the rise of a developed India.
CSIR's efforts resonate with the aspirations laid out in Prime Minister Modi's vision for Viksit Bharat 2047, an India that will be fully developed and self-reliant.
In the last 11 years, CSIR has worked tirelessly to translate scientific research into real-world impact, empowering sectors from health to energy, agriculture to industry. From setting Indian Standard Time independent of GPS, to introducing indigenous footwear sizing and homegrown certified reference materials in the form of Bharatiya Nirdeshak Dravyas, CSIR is helping shape a self-reliant nation. CSIR delivered the nation's first wax de-oiling plant in Assam, indigenized the production of hydrazine hydrate, and developed a homegrown process to synthesize azelaic acid from oleic acid. With zero liquid discharge and technology, CSIR enabled indigenous production of paracetamol. Achieving another milestone, CSIR has developed a rapid test kit for sickle cell anemia screening, enabling quick and affordable diagnosis, especially in tribal regions. CSIR introduced India's first indigenously developed hydrogen fuel cell bus and fuel cell catamaran under Harit Nauka initiative. It also pioneered the development of e-tractors, e-tillers. Taking a proud leap towards clean skies, CSIR has indigenously produced sustainable aviation fuel that powered India's first biojet flight and homegrown lithium-ion battery technology, building the future of clean mobility. Supporting India's zero carbon emission, CSIR developed cutting-edge solutions from anaerobic gas lift reactor technology, biomedical waste to soil additives, and wastewater to hydrogen innovation to converting agro-waste, parali, and bamboo into eco-friendly boards and tiles. As we mark 11 years of scientific strides, CSIR reaffirms its commitment to building a future-ready India through research, resilience, and revolutionary technology. CSIR's millet-based bun innovation, in collaboration with international brands, has brought a healthy twist to fast food, blending tradition with global taste. CSIR developed eco-friendly innovations like plant-based vegan leather and the Phoenix leather technology, redefining sustainable alternatives in the leather industry. With indigenous trainer aircraft technology, CSIR is boosting the nation's capability and efficiency in aviation sector. The development of an indigenous Raman spectrometer has further strengthened the Make in India initiative, marking a major leap in homegrown scientific instrumentation. CSIR's controlled blasting technology is playing a vital role in India's mining and infrastructure development, enabling safer, smarter, and more efficient execution. The Purple Revolution brought through CSIR's Aroma mission has written a new chapter of growth in Indian agriculture, empowering farmers with high-value crops, sustainable livelihoods, and catalyzing several agri-startups in the region. The journey doesn't end here. CSIR's steel slag road technology has given India a new momentum, forging a path that leads straight to the vision of a developed Bharat. CSIR, celebrating 11 years of innovation, empowering India's progress, and steering the nation towards a scientifically strong and self-reliant Viksit Bharat.
Thank you.
Dr. Kaleshelvi,
Thank
that video has arrived. My repository is stronger than the department. So I've actually got it delivered there to your projector. So you can now run it. You can run it.
Piyush, can you run it? Please start.
So this, as PM said in Man Ki Baat, the genesis and the origin of this Purple Revolution in Lavender, he described the small town of Bhadrava, a small hill town in the northern territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And he also explained to the countrymen how it all began. So inspired by that idea, prompted by that, we got a song composed by a local musician, sung by a local guy in the local fields. So the entire direction, choreography, music is all from the single hand. I hope you'll appreciate it. And it's been sung in Bhadravai, which is the local dialect there.
Yes, please play.
These are the local distilleries which have been developed. That is of your thesis was you gave them technical as well as financial support. This distilleries were installed right in the fields, and they made arrangements to carry the product straight into the market, mostly in Maharashtra, Mumbai. So that vindicates our contention that you should have a strong early market in India to make a success out of a startup.
I now request Dr. M. Ravichandran, Secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, for his presentation.
Minister and PSSR, fellow secretaries, Sri Osaji, colleagues from DST, DBT, CSIR and MOES and press and media. Very good morning to all of you. I'll be presenting briefly about 5-6 minutes what are the major achievements have done by Ministry of Earth Sciences. Before going to that, I want to say that the Ministry of Earth Science mandate is to do science and translate science to the services for the benefit of society. So our major things are service oriented. So the first objective is to provide services, and the second objective is to explore and develop technology for harnessing living and non-living resources, especially the ocean. And the third objective is explore the polar regions, especially cryospheric component. Next slide. So in that aspect, in the first one is basically in the atmospheric section, what we have done in improvements in weather and climate. This bar diagram shows that basically we started from milliseconds or few seconds lightning, which is a forecast. Earlier it was not available. Now, because thanks to government, it has installed more than 100 lightning location system. Because of that, now we are able to provide the lightning location services, number one. Number two, the cyclone. Also, we are able to improve the forecast more than 30%, not only intensity, but also in the track and the landfall. Huge savings because of the life property and maybe the property saving, as well as the not required to mobilize major mitigation measures. And the third aspect is short-term forecast. It is up to few days, and the few days forecast also we have improved significantly because of the various models and observing systems. And the fourth one is the extended range forecast, which was not available earlier because it is only for the next month how it will be. That we give the weekly information. Earlier it was not there. Now we are able to provide the extended week because this is very important for the agriculture people, what crop they have to show and other purpose. It is newly introduced in the recent decade. And the seasonal prediction, basically earlier we were telling only from the statistical model how much rainfall will happen all over India. But now we are using the dynamical physics-based model. With that, we are able to say each spatial, how it will be vary and how much we are able to make it. With this, we are able to improve the accuracy of the forecast. Also, we are able to give the spatial granular information. And the last one is basically the, of course, last but decadal forecast. Only 4 countries in the world is to provide the decadal forecast. India is one among them. That is, we are able to start the decadal forecast. That means next decade, how it will be, how the monsoon will be, how the weather pattern will be. All this information we are able to provide from the decadal forecast. And the last one is a climate. It is about next to 2100 years, how it will be. So we are also providing India, first time we have joined in IPCC report. So our models is one of the IPCC finalization report. These are the various temporal scale we are able to improve major things. And the last one is basically not only for the spatial resolution, but also in the, temporal resolution, spatial resolution also, we are able to improve. This is just, I was again mentioning about various things in granular things, how much accuracy we have improved. And I don't want to go into detail. Next one. And the weather, not only for the weather forecast, but also we have improved the air quality monitoring, and also we have made weather modification. From the weather modification, how much we can enhance the precipitation. Roughly, we have documented about 18% only we can enhance the artificial cloud making and other things. And also we are able to improve the HPC and observations. Because of improvement, because of more funding, because of more number of observations, because of HPC, we are able to improve various forecast systems. And also we are able to make a thunderstorm, and also we are able to quantitative precipitation forecast also we have improved very significantly. Next slide. Coming back to the ocean, of course, we are able to improve, basically we are trying to go towards the blue economy component of the ocean sector. For that, we are able to map how much energy is available from the ocean. We are able to map it. In India, almost roughly about 9.2 lakh terawatt of power is available per annum. So we are trying to tap that energy. And potential fishing zone. Earlier, we used to give the mass where the fish mass is available. Now we are able to provide the species-specific forecast for the various states, where thereby our user, it has been almost 7 times have increased. And also we are able to give the forecast of the ocean parameters, various parameters, wave, wind, currents, and to the various stakeholders, including shipping, port and harbor and other people. And also we are continuously monitoring seawater quality among the all around the ocean, and we are able to monitor various things. And important thing is one of the significant thing is a tsunami early warning system, which has been one of the unique in the best tsunami warning system in the world that has been recognized by IOC. So that is also we have established in the recent years. Next slide. Apart from that, we are able to map the digital ocean, and this digital ocean is various observation in situ or radars or satellite or model. All this observation we put into the digital ocean, wherein any depth you go, any time you go, you will be able to see various parameters that we have made it a digital ocean. And also we have made recently the SNOPS, that is basically the operating system. We have established one of the state-of-the-art operation system. Global ocean we are able to access at any point from Hyderabad. And also we are able to make biodiversity surveys under the Deep Ocean Mission. And also we have strengthened the coastal resilience through various measures, marine spatial planning, like urban planning. We are able to make marine spatial planning, and also shoreline, how it is changes over the period. All these things we are able to document it. Next slide. And also we develop various technology, either it is Samudrayan or the ocean observation system, or the water desalination of water, or mining machine, or to make what is called a natural based solution for beach creations or any other coastal ecosystem. Next slide. And also exploring poles, we are able to make various teleconnections. We are able to relate the polar connections with the tropical regions. Majorly what we have done is we have made Arctic policy and also Antarctic bill. It was waiting for long years, long decades. Now we are able to make a polar bill, that is especially Antarctic bill. And also we are able to make Arctic is India's scenario we are able to create in the Arctic. Next slide. And in the coming to the solid earth, in the seismic network, we have increased from 84 to 168. Thereby we are able to monitor any earthquake less than, more than 3, within 3 minutes we are able to monitor. And also we have done major microzonation of major cities where we have to build and what we should not build in that aspect. Next slide. And also we have made a drip drilling. It is about just whether we want to know whether we can get any precursor for a earthquake. For that we have made a 3 kilometer deep drill. And with that we have instrumented various monitoring mechanisms we have installed. We are trying to understand, is there any precursor is available or not. Also there are about many geological things. It is a curiosity driven questions we are able to answer from various aspects. And new program we have started, it is submarine groundwater discharge and various other aspects. Next slide. And of course, in the last 10 years, we are able to make many of the user spectrum, because earlier only few users were there. Now entire ministry, and I think we are part of life of every individual as well as every ministry. That is what we have created in the last 10 years or so. It is all because of the, again, I'm telling you, it is because of the funding and observation and understanding. I think from 2014, we have a funding of 1,600 crore. Now we are having 3,650 crore per year. That is what it has been able to achieve this quantum output. Next slide. Of course, these are various apps are available. Maybe once you can go through various apps and digital infrastructure we have created over the periods. Next slide. And this is just vision one for each sphere. Atmosphere, we want to go for weather forecast management. Ocean, we want to go for double the GDP of blue economy. And the polar region, we want to play a lead role and geostrategically important player. And the geoscience, we want to go for early earthquake warning. And for this, we want to observe more, understand more, and predict various models we develop so that we can produce various services. So our objective is do science and translate science to the service for the benefit of society. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ravichandran. Now I request Professor Ajay Kumar Sood, Principal Scientific Advisor, to make his opening remarks.
Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, Science Secretary is on the dais, Shri Oja ji, entire science fraternity from all the 4 science departments, Office of PSA, ANRF, and most important for today, the media. You heard in a very succinct way, which was probably not possible in less than this time which has been taken, what 4 science departments have really done on the transformative journey which India has taken in the last 11 years under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister in various fields. I really congratulate all the departments and also congratulate Honorable Minister for his leadership in achieving these goals. You would have all noticed that in the last 11 years, science and technology has moved from sideline to the center stage of our nation's development. This came out very clearly in all the presentations and the short videos which were shown to us. I'll take few minutes, hopefully not 11, just to tell you the role of science advice in this scenario and in this office of PSA. So this office of Principal Scientific Advisor provides evidence-based practical advice to the Prime Minister and to the Cabinet on key issues related to science and technology. Actually, it plays a role in assessing the current landscape of various scientific domains in all the ministries. Cutting across ministries, we are ministry agnostic, identifying challenges and formulating interventions that contribute to future-ready roadmap for national development. In this, the Prime Minister's Science, Technology and Innovation Advisory Council, PM STIC, serves as an important platform in this process, which provides an integrated framework for strategy design and implementation. The way it works is that it identifies critical gaps that hinder optimal national performance and assess the evolving global R&D landscape to determine priority areas essential for India's growth and leadership. Now, based on this analysis, PM STIC in the last 11 years
has recommended targeted missions, actually to be more specific, 11 of them, initiated many policies and other interventions. Now, these are then operationalized by respective ministries or departments uh, and to ensure coordinated and mission driven action across the national innovation system. So, that is the framework of from the science policy to the action by involving all the relevant stakeholders in this ecosystem. So as you would have noticed in the last few years, many missions have been launched. For example, National One Health Mission, which cuts across 13 ministries. You heard about National Quantum Mission, National AI Mission, Deep Ocean Mission, Bio E3 policy, and many things which have happened in like Green Hydrogen Mission and so on. So this is the role our office can play in energizing the science and technology ecosystem. Uh, ANRF, which was also mentioned, again was discussed in very extensively in PM STI uh, quite early, and from there it has come to the fructification and rolling out last year of this very important initiative of this government. Just to tell you some brief, if you don't have, last year at the completion of 10 years, our office in conjunction with 22 departments had looked at science and technology panorama for Atmanirbhar Bharat. It is on our website. This is a very short summary, which is theme wise, what all ministries have done in various themes. And if you have interest, you can look at which is really like the area oriented summary of what all government as a whole have done. So I will not take more time, but to mention in this very hall, we also unveiled ONOS, One Nation, One Subscription, which again I feel is a very important outcome under this government's initiative, which makes access and democratized the access to almost 1.8 crore students and faculty members, and they have access to almost 13,400 international journals, cutting across in 6,300 institutions. This has never happened before, and this will really be a game changer in really taking S&T to the grassroots level in the true sense of the word. So we have iSTEM, which again is a program where the equipments and the facilities acquired under various science ministries funding, like what you see on the dais, they are on the portal and they are accessible to everyone. And this also is making a difference. I think this is not the time to elaborate the other schemes of the RUTAG, which is really taking science and technology to the villagers. RUTAG Smart Village Centers, again seeing how the technology really goes to the grassroots level. All these are ones where our office plays a role along with all the science departments which are on the dais and other departments which are not here. So I will just end by remarking that this 11 years of achievements across our premier science and technology departments, institutions, we recognize fully well that the foundation for the next decade of growth and innovation is well underway. And for this, we all thank the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister for he has made very clear in all his addresses from the Red Fort and all other occasions in G20 and so on, how science and technology is at the center stage for India's growth. And I am very sure that through various ministries, departments, institutions, strategic sectors, all these, all of us will continue to remain committed to advance science and technology for inclusive development, sustainability, and global cooperation. So I thank you once again for coming here, and it is a pleasure to listen to the wonderful progress which 4 science departments have made. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for making this really accessible to all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Honorable Minister, sir, for his remarks.
Principal Scientific Advisor, Professor Sood, Dr. Kalai Selvi, Dr. Ravi Chandran, Dr. Abhay, Dr. Rajesh, and of course, our Principal DG Ojha Sahab, members of the fraternity, also officials of all the different departments falling under the Ministries of Science and Technology and the Ministry of Earth Science, and of course, more importantly, the media friends who are here to actually make us feel reassured that science does find a space in media now, which was perhaps not easily seen till a few years ago. So I think there's been presentations made by each of the secretaries, and that makes my task easier, and at the risk of being repetitive and taking your time, I will not get into all that because it's already been very elaborately put out before you. So from a different perspective, I think if you ask me to sum up, I would sum up saying that the last 11 years turned technology as the engine of India growth story. And that's there for anyone to see with evidence. Also, the last 10 years turned India into a technology leader rather than a technology follower. And thirdly, the last 10 years also saw India coming out with global best practices for others to follow, instead of waiting to adopt the best practices developed by others. So I think these 3 sentences sum up about all. And this has been possible largely because after 2014, we had a political dispensation which was very enabling, which was very supportive. And I think what the scientist needs the most is the liberty to experiment, even sometimes at the risk of not being as successful as envisaged. And that was allowed to us by the Honorable Prime Minister, whether it was in the case of going out for private participation, even in departments like space and nuclear sector, or going out of way to involve even foreign collaborations and FDIs. Because we never lacked talent, we never lacked the potential. But perhaps what was lacking was a political dispensation and a supportive approach which happens from the level of the policy makers, and B, that we had refrained ourselves from following the global strategies which drove us into working in silos, unlike what is seen or witnessed in the other countries where there's no demarcation between the private and the public sector. Now, this has also given huge importance to all these science departments that you see over here. And as I was saying, it's also generated interest in the media and the people outside these departments. And they put it in a different way. In fact, when I came here and when Ravi Chandran joined, I asked him, I sometimes feel like doing a survey on the streets of Delhi, give them a performer and ask them where on earth is the Department of Earth Sciences. I don't know how many people would know that. But today I'm glad people come looking and ask, where is Prithvi Bhavan? So that is the kind of. Now similarly, the Department of Biotechnology had been dumped behind ITBP. So when you went looking for him, you came across all the uniformed cops So your first reaction would be that you landed at a wrong place. Today, young boys and girls are demanding that we need to have a proper address because we want to avail of BIRAC, we want to avail of the startup. There were just 50 startups in 2014. Now they are more than 10,000, 11,000. So that is the visibility. Similarly, Department of Science and Technology has its own technology bhavan now, a huge, huge complex befitting of the kind of work that they are doing at Mehroli. They are no longer confined to a small section. And of course, CSIR, I need not say, we introduced a program called 1 Week, 1 Lab. She presides over 37 labs and the PSU, but hardly anything was known about it. In fact, when we started involving public engagement with each of the labs, and I would say, let the people talk about us, what they think. And one of the places where we had a farmers interaction, because the institute was dedicated more to the agri schemes, they came out with some hilarious observations. Some of them said, we used to pass by this gate, we didn't know what is happening. If we ask the passerby, he says, don't ask, andar mendek kaate jate hain. Lab hai. Somebody said the ghosts dance in the night. So we have opened up, all the 37 labs opened up, so that people can now see that Dr. Kalai Selvi presides over a huge, huge empire. I think next only to that of Queen Victoria. So this visibility is not only to showcase ourselves or to give us some kind of a satisfaction out of publicity, whatever has happened, but also that we have reached out to the stakeholders. So that is something which was not mentioned in any of the earlier presentations. Today, we are very much linked with those for whom these gentlemen and gentle ladies work, and those who have to avail of us. So we are much, much closer now through these interactive programs. Now we have also launched one theme 1 week, so that all the institutes working on a similar theme come together in an integrated fashion. And that is the global strategy which is followed by the successful nations. Then the other highlight or the hallmark has been that most of these departments have tried to explore areas which were hitherto unexplored. Today, we've reached from 10th to 4th economy. But as members of the scientific fraternity, we are not expected simply to romantically and fancifully keep saying we'll be number one, we'll be number one. That might suit others. We are expected to come out with scientific evidence about what is the roadmap. And if you scientifically try to ponder over it, the roadmap is to explore those areas which have not been explored earlier or have remained underexplored, or the sectors, the regions. That only will add value to bring us from 4 to 3 and subsequently to 2 and 1. And I'm glad, and that's, I think, I don't know how far we have noticed. Department of Biotechnology, and look at, have you ever realized what were the greatest assets, natural assets of India, resource pool, which unfortunately remained underexplored for the last 70 years? One is biodiversity. We keep saying unity in diversity, unity in diversity, unity in diversity, without even understanding what it is all about. But have we ever made a virtue out of this diversity? This diversity itself is our exclusive resource, not given to any other country in the world, where you have very homogeneous composition, both resource-wise and otherwise. And for the first time, I'm glad this biodiversity is being explored by the Department of Biotechnology, headed by Dr. Rajesh Gokhale. And as was being mentioned, this is going to be the foundation of the next industrial revolution. We are already into it, as he was mentioning, with institutionalized policies like BioE3. So we have already started moving in that direction. And this resource is going to add value to our future economic growth. The second factor, the second area which remained underexplored for 7 decades was our ocean resource. We have 11,000 kilometer long coastal area. We have almost 12 states residing on the banks of the oceans. We have an ocean called Indian Ocean by the name of the country, which no other but we never looked into it. We never peeped into it. The first time, huge resource of minerals, metals, fisheries. When the minerals and fisheries on the surface of Earth get exhausted, saturated, where are you going to add value to? How do you reach from 4 to 1? This is, so Dr. Ravi Chandran's department has started exploring that. And third, natural resource only given to India. Like I said, biodiversity 1, oceans 2, and the third, again, not exactly realized for almost 7 days, the Himalayas. And I'm glad Dr. Kalai Selvi's department has started looking into Himalayas. This purple revolution emanating from Himalayas is becoming a new genre of agri-startup, the new genre of livelihood, and a very lucrative livelihood, also exploding the Western myth that to be a startup, you have to be an IT man. To be a startup, you have to be a PhD. Many of our startups are not even graduates. And that is indigenous startup emanating from the lab of Himalaya. So these three major sectors which had remained underexplored or unexplored for the last 7 decades are now getting explored by these three departments. And this is exactly going to add value when we reach economy number 1. Then in the process, as I said, this has also led to the discovery of the talent which had hitherto remained undiscovered. Because we had so many myths, like I said, the startup has to be an IT, startup has to be a very great scientist. Many of these success stories which were being narrated by Dr. Kalai Selvi are hardly any scientists. They can't, I think, even write the spelling of science, yes, but they have an aptitude for technology. They have an aptitude for passion for the technology, and they are very good learners. The other notable feature of these last few years has been that we have worked in the true spirit of cooperative federalism, which the policymakers keep saying, and science departments are not expected to be a part of it. We are indeed. Our science councils under Dr. Abhay Karindikar have become much, much more active now. There were times in these states, no civil servant would like to be a science secretary because he would always keep waiting to be transferred to another department, and therefore the departments would remain neglected. Now realizing, now we have aligned those technologies with public welfare programs, which has given esteem, whether it's a Swamitva program, whether it's a Jal Jeevan mission, whether it's your soil health agriculture schemes. All these schemes, because of their close alignment with technology, the science departments in these states have also started collaborating. And lastly, because I said I won't be repetitive, I'll just give one each global best practice emanating from each of the departments and being emulated by the rest of the world. As I said, we have learned to speak with evidence, so this can also be verified by anyone. A, the best practice from the Department of Biotechnology, vaccine, the first ever DNA vaccine, now being emulated by the other countries. They are in fact wondering. A country hardly known for healthcare practices has come out to become a leader in the preventive healthcare. And B, a global best practice of successful gene trial in hemophilia, which is again a global problem. In fact, hemophilia was also once upon a time known as Queen's disease. In the earlier books, if you find 19th century textbooks of written by the British authors, because then after 1980 or so, the entire medicine and science academics shifted over from Britain to America. So the earlier authors used to call it Queen's disease because of one of the Queen Victoria's relatives had this. It emanated from there, it was worked upon there, deficiency of clotting factor 8, leading on to bleeding, uncontrolled. Many people would succumb to a bleeding if they had an accident or a trauma. The first gene trial successful has not happened where it was first reported. It has happened through the Department of Biotechnology with a trial conducted at Christian Medical College, Vellore, and it has been reported by none less than New England Journal of Medicine, which is among the oldest science journals, almost 200 years old. New England Journal of Medicine and the British Medical Journal, the two oldest journals emanating from the Great Britain. So that is the other global best practice. Now, for the Department of Science and Technology, the geospatial policy, lesser talked about, but it's emerged as a global practice. The Swamitva program is also greatly guided by this policy. And the world is wondering how a country as heterogeneous, as vast as India is also a peninsula, is also a Himalaya. It has also island territories. It has also got hill terrains. You could come out with a practice of mapping using drones and satellite images, and you have put the revenue officer out of job. You have made the farmer, the landowner, the master of his own destiny. And that is exactly the spirit of citizen-centric governance. As I said, we have aligned our technologies with the governance. So there is again a global practice to be followed. As far as the Ministry of Earth Sciences is concerned, way back in 2016 or 17, we came out with a satellite. Earlier, the idea was to name it Sat satellite, and of course it was not named because Pakistan refused to be a part of it, and of course that's their misfortune. But that satellite is now offering services, both the disaster predictions, disaster evaluation information to all the countries around. Neighbors First policy launched by Prime Minister Modi through the MEA is being supplemented by the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Whether it's Mongolia, it's Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, the information being catered by this department through IMD has actually enhanced India's reach and emerged as a global practice. And similarly also, as was being mentioned briefly by Dr. Ravi Chandra, our forays into Antarctica are now also of a much superior quality compared to many other countries. In fact, we even went to the extent of performing yoga day before yesterday over there among penguins and the ice. So, and I need not mention the CSIR global best practice is purple revolution and lavender. The other day, my and Dr. Ravi Chandran had the opportunity of visiting the oldest lavender, the perfume village called Grasse in France. We went there simply, and we have got you aligned with them. So the Consulate General will soon get in touch with you. So they are wondering that they had the perfume industry in France, but there was someone here who was also cultivating it in one bunkyard. So that is your global risk. So ladies and gentlemen, without taking your time and without causing boredom to you, I will just try to spell out for your convenience some of the global best practices emanating from each of the departments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for very enlightening address. Now, I request 11 number to ask the question.
Hi,
Please,
sir.
please introduce yourself
yeah.
and your.
Soumya Pillai from The Print. I had two questions specifically for Dr. Singh. So we spoke about all aspects, especially after Operation Sindoor, national security, defense satellite tech is something that has really been in the forefront, especially science that has happened around it. If you could briefly run us through about, some of the things that are happening on that front. And while we have you here, if you could also give us an update about what's happening with the Axiom 4, because the launch has been delayed for several times. So an update on that would also be helpful.
Incidentally, both the questions have not anything to do with the departments sitting over here, but I don't have the courage to disappoint someone like Soumya. So having said that, as far as the first part is concerned, of course, that was space technology and atomic energy, which had the opportunity to showcase itself, and all the technologies that came into play during those few hours and days were indigenous, developed in the last 10, 11 years, which could be verified. Even the TOTs had happened only last 10 years. And therefore, I don't have to go in detail because that's a department doesn't need to be much discussed publicly. And I also don't indulge in talking out of turn, but I'm glad that both these departments had an opportunity to showcase what had happened in the last 10 years. And primarily in the times to come, the entire warfare will be related to these two areas of work. And second, as far as Axiom is concerned, they are now into negotiation. They have decided to come out with the next date after a while, because we already have about 7 astronauts up there in the International Space Station. So they are also now negotiating with the respective countries. We have 2 from Russia over there. And I think soon, because they have, I'm glad they have decided not to put up a date and then not be able to stick to it. So they have very humbly said that they need to take some more time before they finally come out with a final date. But again, I think it's a matter of pride that of the 4 persons going there, the pivotal role is going to be played by Shubhanshu Shukla. A, because he's also a pilot, and B, also because he's going to perform some exclusive experiments, which again are going to be the global inferences for the rest of the world. And to connect it with today's press conference, I think Dr. Rajesh Gokhale's department has provided all the kits which will be used by Subhashu in carrying out those experiments at zero gravity and microgravity in the space, whether it's life sciences, trying to assess the impact on the cognitive functions, the faculties of an individual or a human being when you are expected to constantly look at the TV screen or the computer screen. Some of the effects on the muscles, because muscle dysfunction, so how do you strategize their prevention? And then also on the microorganisms in the extreme conditions, they have carried water bears, and also some of the plant experiments, at least on 6 different crops. And the Department of Biotechnology has actually entered into a formal MOU with the Department of Space. So they are equally involved in Axiom 4. You want to add to that?
Thank you, sir. 271.
Jacob Koshi from the Hindu newspaper, sir. 2 questions. One is biotechnology and one has to be something on space. But first question on biotechnology, the general, when you go back to our IT revolution or our startup cultures, a true test of a startup blooming is when it IPOs or it becomes significant public interest. So I wanted to understand from the DBT why the BIRAC has been established since 2012. When do we see a BIRAC funded biotech startup hitting that IPO stage? And do you see are there any challenges that are obstructing it? And sir, second question is, 2 days back, we learned that the SSLV, the small satellite launch vehicle, was, the transfer tech was backed by the HAL. Now, HAL is a very renowned company. It has got a lot of expertise in the field. It won by a fair tender. But sir, your government's, your key thrust has been that promoting private sector participation in space. So now again, we have just HAL, which has a long history, of course, but again, it is another a PSU that is going to do something. And this goes back to our old tradition. So isn't this a bit of a step back from what you have kind of championed?
No, to take your second question first, though it's conference doesn't deal with space. Actually, we need to also have a very robust, developed private sector. I agree with you to an extent, but the point is that we need to have private sector also developed with an equal pace to be a very active participant in the collaboration. So somewhere that gap is missing, possibly again because the policy earlier was not very favorably inclined to the private sector. It's only after Prime Minister Modi came in that started happening. Now, for example, we have opened up space to the private sector only in the last 4 or 5 years. So their capacity building has also started just now. Had it happened earlier, maybe they have. So we have not many projects, I think, under Prime Minister Modi's government. So many projects, both in infrastructure and otherwise, have been rolled out. But we don't have the sufficient private sector acumen. You have 1 or 2 companies everywhere, you keep looking for that. So I think this is take time because now there's a shift in the policy. Same is the case in nuclear sector also. Now that we have just announced this year, we'll come out with the rules. And then when the private sector understands that they are now expected to collaborate at a larger scale, they would also start building capacity for themselves. What did you say?
No, I think
think I would agree with you that one of the measure of success is an IPO in the market. But the second measure of success is also the equity valuation that actually companies have garnered over a period of time. I'm sure you would appreciate that the biotech companies do take long time of incubation periods to be able to do these activities. And as I showed in my slide, more than 7,000 crores have been raised by the BioRack companies. And these are outside, not companies outside I'm talking about, because there are not all of them are governed by BioRack actually. Have in fact have raised more than 7,000 crores of equity in various mechanisms. In fact, one of the companies that you might have just read about raised about 1,300 crores actually for sugar alternative measurements actually in Telangana based company. So there are several companies. I mean, that was just announced about a couple of days back.
No, I think the same what applies in case of space. It's good that your observation is quite appreciable. It's also we here. We've just now started opening up, without any inhibition or reservation to the private sector. But the private sector was not as prepared for this outreach by us. They never expected us to. So now, for example, when they came out with the first ever vaccine, DNA vaccine, which all the trials were done in this Faridabad Institute, you hardly have one or two companies who would come forward to manufacture it. That's the point. Had we given them a signal about maybe 2 decades earlier, that is, that this is the direction that we are going to take, they might have had. So we hardly have choice. They have come out with the first ever indigenous antibiotic. Again, credit to them. I didn't mention it because I was talking only of the global practices. But for the first time, we have an antibiotic. The salt was developed here, trial was done here, and the manufacturing also. And it's called nephromycin, said to be very effective in particularly in resistant respiratory infections. Earlier on, all these salts came from outside. Again, we didn't have a company to come forward. They came across a company, of course, a Mumbai-based, but to be very honest, they were not doing very well in the market, so they came forward to take this. So I think in course of time, and I'm sure that would happen because they have their own business stakes, and when they realize that they have opportunity, they would also come up to that level.
135 at the back. We'll come one by one.
Now they have come out with a host of vaccines. They've come out with a vaccine on HPV virus. Again, one or two companies. One, that South Indian company took the DNA vaccine. Now Pune company is taking the HPV. Soon they'll have a malaria vaccine. They're working on tuberculosis. You don't have the private parties actually to lap up what they have. They are offering. So, but I'm sure this will happen in course of time, sooner than later.
सर, मेरा नाम पीयूष पांडे है, मैं TV9 भारतवर्ष से हूँ। मंत्री जी से मेरा सवाल है, सर, विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में मौसम के अलावा भी पूर्वानुमान संभव किया गया है। क्या भूकंप को लेकर के पूर्वानुमान लगाए जाने को लेकर कोई काम चल रहा है और इस दिशा में क्या कोई संभावना बनती है?
नहीं, आपका प्रश्न बड़ा उचित है। वैसे देश भर में नहीं बल्कि दुनिया भर में भी भूकंप को लेकर के कोई बहुत अधिक सक्षम कोई इस तरह की कोई प्रक्रिया नहीं है जिससे उसकी भविष्यवाणी की जा सके। लेकिन हाँ, भूकंप हो जाने के बाद डैमेज असेसमेंट या जो नुकसान हुआ उसके लिए हमारे पास बड़ा एक सक्षम व्यवस्था है और उसको लेकर के अब बहुत सारे यूनिट्स हमारे स्थापित भी किए गए हैं। डॉक्टर रवि, यू लाइक टू add to that?
As of now, there is no science to predict earthquake. But however, we are trying to do that earthquake. Suppose early earthquake warning. What we mean is from the primary wave, if you have more observations from the primary wave, before coming the secondary wave when it comes, suppose that is a major disaster things. So we will be able to get a few seconds before.
But that also you can add that in the last few years, you have set up a host of observatories across the country. So, from north to south.
So that's a more number of observations required. In Delhi itself, more than few, what is called more than 30, 40. So we'll be able to tell you is better than other places, but we are aiming to go for, it is not only India, globally, we are trying to go for early earthquake warning prediction, maybe in the coming decades.
कभी मतलब ये ना समझिएगा कि पीयूष जी, अर्लियर का मतलब ये नहीं है कि होने से पहले जब शुरू हो जाए थरथराहट तो आपको वार करना कि बिल्डिंग से बाहर निकलो। हाँ, मतलब इससे पहले कि नुकसान हो आपको अर्ली वॉर्न वो करना, ये नहीं है जैसे आपने पूछा कि एक रात पहले बता देंगे कि आज रात को बाहर सोइएगा। It should not get misinterpreted because honestly speaking, across the world, there is so far no scientific methodology developed to predict it as such.
245. दूसरा माइक दे दें।
सर मैं डॉक्टर मीना कुमारी राजस्थान पत्रिका से। सर मेरा सवाल था कि जलवायु परिवर्तन की बात करें तो इस टाइम में सबसे चैलेंजिंग जो विषय है वो जलवायु परिवर्तन है, जिसमें कि एक ये होता है कि पूर्वानुमान की बात करें तो ये आता है कि बारिश 4-5 दिन के बाद में बारिश होगी और इस टाइम सूखा होगा, इस तरह की तो हमें बताया जाता है। लेकिन सडनली इस टाइम में जो देखें कि सडनली बारिश होती है, कम टाइम में और एकदम बारिश होती है, तो इस तरह का अभी तक कोई पूर्वानुमान का बारे में कम ही जानकारी मिलती है। दूसरा मेरा एक ये जानना चाह रही थी सर कि जैसे मौसम विभाग इस टाइम की बात करें कि वो 5-10 या 15 दिन पहले भी बता देता है कि इस टाइम में बारिश होगी, इतनी बारिश होगी, लेकिन वहीं देशज ज्ञान की बात करें तो देश भर में चाहे कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी, यदि वहाँ के किसी गृहिणी से भी बात करें, किसान से बात करें, तो वो अगले 6 महीने की भी बता देता था कि अगली जो इस टाइम में बारिश होगी और कितनी बारिश होगी, कैसे सूखा होगा, तो वो अपनी तैयारियां कर लेते थे। तो क्या जो देशज ज्ञान है उस पर भी किसी तरह का अभी तक कोई साइंटिफिक कोई स्टडी हुई है या फिर आगे होने के लिए भी इस पर कोई विचार है?
ओके, नहीं ऐसा नहीं है। पहले की तुलना में अगर आप देखिए हाउ डू यू अप्रिशिएट व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इज व्हेन यू कंपेयर इट। तो एक जमाना था जब टेलीविजन नहीं था, तो पत्रकार भी अब नई पीढ़ी के बैठे, पुराने पत्रकारों में ये बड़ा लतीफा मशहूर हुआ करता था। तो सुबह 9 बजे और शाम को 7 बजे मौसम का हाल बोला जाता था रेडियो से। अब वो उनके ऊपर लाजिम होता था, अनिवार्य था। तो वहाँ जो अनाउंसर बैठी होती थी, अब उनके पास डिपार्टमेंट वॉज वेरी प्रिमिटिव। मेट्रोलॉजिकल स्टेशन से सूचना आती थी, कभी पहुंचती थी, कभी नहीं पहुंचती थी। लेकिन ये तो आप आज की चैनलों की तरह है नहीं कि कभी भी ब्रेकिंग कर दो। तो वहाँ एक निर्धारित समय होता था, सुबह 9 बजे आकाशवाणी ने बोला। तो वो एक उन्होंने तकिया कलाम रखा था कि अगले 24 घंटे में दूर दूर तक बारिश होगी, वैसे आमतौर पर मौसम खुश्क रहेगा। सो यानी हो भी जाए तो गलत ना हो। लेकिन अभी उसकी तुलना में 3 तरह के मैकेनिज्म इन प्लेस है। नहीं, मैं आप पहले आप उसके बाद आप बताइएगा। एक लॉन्ग रेंज जिसमें 1 हफ्ते की करते हैं ऑलमोस्ट एवरी थर्सडे, एक शॉर्ट रेंज है वो भी है, और जो आप कह रही हैं नौ, एक नया शुरू की गई है प्रक्रिया जिसमें 3 घंटे की भविष्यवाणी की जाती है। अभी दिल्ली में वो इतना सक्षम नहीं हुआ, लेकिन जो हैवी मानसून जोन्स हैं मुंबई चेन्नई में, बल्कि अब मुंबई में तो ये हालत हो गई है कि घड़ी देख करके व्यक्ति बताता है कि छतरी लेके जाना है, बाहर के नहीं जाना, या रुक जाता है कि साहब इतने बजे तक बारिश रुक जाएगी उसके बाद जाएगी। मैं तो इनसे कह रहा था कि हम जिंगल प्रिपेयर करें टू एडवर्टाइज दैट। गृहिणी आके पूछती है कि आप छतरी ले जाइए, तो कहता नहीं भाग्यवान रुको, आधे घंटे बाद जाऊंगा। तो जस्ट टू मेक पीपल अवेयर, क्योंकि जो आप कह रही हैं, आपका कहना ठीक है, जागरूकता की कमी है, लोगों को पता नहीं है। किसानों के लिए डेडिकेटेड हमारे पास व्हाट्सएप्स है, मेघदूत व्हाट्सएप, मौसम व्हाट्सएप, अनफॉर्चुनेटली कोई देखता नहीं है, सब कुछ इसमें है, एप्स है। तो उसमें हमें आपका भी सहयोग चाहिए होगा। नहीं, किसान की तैयारी के लिए है ना, आप अभी देखिए, शायद आपने भी नहीं देखा हुआ, डेडिकेटेड एप्स फॉर किसान है। रवि विल फर्दर एलैबोरेट। मेघदूत ऐप अलग है, मौसम ऐप अलग, 3-4 ऐप्स है। उसमें ये भी बताया जाता है कि आपकी बुहाई कब करनी है, कब करनी है, कब कटाई का सीजन होगा। और इफ यू क्रिएट एन इकोसिस्टम, उसके साथ सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड भी जोड़ दे और सैटेलाइट इमेजेस भी जोड़ दे, तो आपको ये भी समझ आएगा कि कौन सा क्रॉप किस मिट्टी में कब लगाना है। लेकिन हो क्या रहा है कि वही मैंने कहा कि इसके बारे में जानकारी कम है, और जानकारी नहीं है इसकी भी जानकारी नहीं है। जैसे अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं there are two sets of people, one who don't know but they know that they have to find out, others who don't know that they don't know. So there is a second set of people who don't know that they don't know, उनको ये भी नहीं मालूम कि इसकी जानकारी कहीं है. तो हम आपका कहना ठीक है. I think this is something that we have to improve on, and in fact I have been insisting. Dr. Mahapatra is also there, he is also working on that. इसका प्रचार प्रसार हमें और अधिक करना होगा. बाकी जहाँ तक दिल्ली राजधानी क्षेत्र का ताल्लुक है, यहाँ पर ऑटोमेटेड स्टेशंस दूसरे नए लगाने की प्रक्रिया जारी है. बिकॉज जब हम बात करते हैं कि साहब दिल्ली में प्रेडिक्शन कम हुई फोरकास्ट की, तो हम ये भूल जाते हैं कि आज का दिल्ली 25 साल पहले का दिल्ली नहीं है. अब हम सारे एनसीआर को दिल्ली कहते हैं. तो कई बार क्या होता है कि आप यहाँ पर बैठकर प्रेडिक्शन करेंगे तो शायद नोएडा के लिए इतनी रेलेवेंट ना रहे. सो वी नीड टू हैव मोर नंबर ऑफ दोस व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एएमटी, ऑटोमेटेड मेट्रो स्टेशंस. डॉक्टर महापात्रा को भी दे दो थोड़ा माइक, सो दैट इट कम्स फ्रॉम द हॉर्सेस माउथ एंड गोज स्ट्रेट टू राजस्थान पत्रिका. महापात्रा जी सुनाओ इनको थोड़ा हिंदी.
थैंक यू सर. यस, एज मिनिस्टर साहब ने बताया कि बहुत सारे ऐसे ही चुनौतियां हैं जो कि टाइम पर चेंज होता है, क्लाइमेट चेंज हो फिर अर्बनाइजेशन हो. इसको देखकर मिनिस्टर ऑफ आर्ट साइंसेस इंडिया विद डिपार्टमेंट में लगातार कंटिन्यूसली एनहांस कर रहे, अपग्रेड कर रहे हैं मीटरोलॉजिकल ऑब्जर्वेशन सिस्टम. और इसके साथ साथ मॉडलिंग सिस्टम भी. जैसे कुछ दिन पहले हमारे ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर साहब ने 6 किलोमीटर रिजोल्यूशन वाले मॉडल को भी इनॉग्रेशन किए थे. और दिल्ली की बात करें तो लगभग 100 ऑटोमेटेड स्टेशन लगाए जा रहे हैं और 3 रडार भी लगाए जा रहे हैं जो कि दिल्ली और एनसीआर एरिया को कवर करेगा. ऑलरेडी हमारे पास 3 रडार है. तो इसमें जो दिल्ली का हाई रिजोल्यूशन ग्रैनुलर इंफॉर्मेशन जनरेट करना, डिटेक्ट करना और प्रेडिक्ट करने के लिए मदद मिलेगा.
किसानों के लिए थोड़ा सा बताएं ना.
किसानों के लिए हमारा एक जो कोशिश है कि हर किसानों के पास हम कैसे पहुंच सकें. इसमें मोबाइल ऐप मेघदूत डेवलप हुआ है.
इसके अलावा एसएमएस भी है.
इसके साथ एसएमएस जा रहे हैं हर किसानों को, और हर विलेज में एटलीस्ट 5 किसानों को हम जोड़ने के लिए कोशिश कर रहे हैं व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में. लाख्स ऑफ विलेजेस में हम भी पहुंच चुका है, सभी विलेज में पहुंचने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. इसके साथ स्टेट का जो लोकल मोबाइल ऐप है इसमें भी किसानों का इंफॉर्मेशन जा रहे हैं. डीडी किसान में जा रहे हैं, मास मीडिया में इस्तेमाल भी कर रहे हैं. इससे बहुत सारे मल्टीप्रॉन्ग अप्रोच हम एडॉप्ट कर रहे हैं जैसे कि हर किसानों के साथ हम जोड़ सकें. हम आप सभी से ही अनुरोध करेंगे कि हमारे जो सभी मोबाइल ऐप आए हैं इसको आप यूटिलाइज करिए, तो लोगों तक पहुंचाने की कोशिश करिए.
इम्प्लीमेंट होने वाली है उसमें डॉक्टर रविचंद्रन भी बताएंगे. फर्दर अपग्रेडेशन का जो
No, as you know that this heavy rains predictability is very hard. It is only peculiar to tropics. That is why under the mission Mausam, we are planning to go for more number of observations, especially radars. So we are planning to have hundreds of radars all over India.
ये जो आपका सवाल था उससे ये जुड़ता है.
So once we get the radars in place in a year or so, we will be able to monitor all the weather systems without fail, because the cloud burst and other things we are not able to monitor as of now. So once the radar is in place, definitely we will be able to provide the nowcast as well as the forecast pattern.
Thank you. अभी 248 है, इस वाले फ्लैंक से भी एक लेते हैं, फिर हम आएंगे आप लोगों के पास.
ये जो आप सवाल पूछ रही थी, क्लाउड बर्स्ट में उसकी रेलेवेंस होती है क्योंकि वो वहाँ पर कंडीशंस के ऊपर आधारित होता है. लेकिन ये जो सोफिस्टिकेटेड रडार मिशन मौसम से बात कर रहे हैं उससे दैट विल आल्सो बी टेकन केयर ऑफ.
इस सामने आप बताएं.
Sir, this is Kalyan from Deccan Herald. Sir, I just wanted to know, is there any plan to revise the scholarship amount for SRF and JRF? I think sometimes back we are told that this will be kind of periodic review of the amount of money they get under SRF and JRF scheme. So any plan to revise those?
Yes, Abhay has all the purse strings.
No, I think currently there is no such plan. Yeah, but
No, don't close the window.
No. We are not closing. Actually, we are doing consultations.
नहीं, आपका सुझाव ठीक है. उसमें समय के साथ साथ जैसे फाइनेंस वालों के साथ इनके चर्चा चल रही है, मशवरा परामर्श किस तरह से होगा. This is anything immediate. We may not have the immediate.
234.
Thank you. I am Srishti Chaudhary from CNN News 18. My first question is to Dr. Abhay. DST has a lot of programs to bring the Indian diaspora scientists to collaborate and come back. How have those schemes been faring? How successful have we been? And second question to Dr. Singh, again regarding Axiom Mission 4. So we had a lot of experiments which were shortlisted from various labs across the country. Considering that the mission is getting really postponed, how are we really ensuring that they remain viable? Like, what's the plan like to for those experiments? Thank you.
So, regarding the Indian diaspora, to bring back, we had launched a Vaibhav Fellowship program that was launched, 2 years back, and under that program, we have done 2 calls. So last year, and these are like collaborative projects. So we invite the proposals from the Indian diaspora, which are located across any institutions abroad and who want to spend some time here and collaborate with the Indian scientists. So last year, we had launched this program in 2023. Once we launched in 2024, a total of, let me just check, I think, total of about 40 Vaibhav fellowships we have so far offered. This year again,
I just mentioned Queen Victoria, you proved that. Such a heavy weight. Anyway, I think fault is the people who arranged this. They should have arranged a grand chair for you. Anyway, coming back to.
Yeah, so I think this was one of the programs. Now, the erstwhile Science and Engineering Research Board, SERB, was also running the Vajra fellowship programs, which were not just for the Indian diaspora, but inviting any, scientists from abroad and spend time. Now, that program, I think, has supported more than 100 such Vajra fellows, in the last few years. Of course, now with the Anusandhan National Research Foundations, we will be restructuring that program.
I think you are also working on further incentivizing the options.
Yes. So
that also,
yeah.
that to add to you. I mean,
So,
though which may not be right to or not be in a position to actually share now, but they are still working on some more incentivizing options as well. But I think it also requires to be now, at least at the personal level, whoever is going abroad, I ask them to plan out when they are coming back. So once a person has stayed there for 10, 15 years, raised a family, then in spite of all the incentivization given by the department, they are held back for other reasons, for the social reasons. The family comes out. Like, for example, we had the case of an individual whom we had actually facilitated a few years ago, but when he wanted actually to shift, his family declined. And then he confessed to me. I said, no, I now understand. My children have never been to India. In fact, even for the holiday, they went some European destination. So most of those who go there for in capacity building should also be advised to devise a roadmap, also a timetable to come back, because the other factors take over. Now, as far as the Axiom 4 is concerned, of course, the experiments are in place. I don't think we have to be apprehensive. It's only the final launch date because the safety concerns, the other concerns, but we have, and it's very heartening that all the 4 astronauts have very good comradeship amongst themselves. The commander, Peggy, is a veteran, 65-year-old astronaut, and she commands the respect of all the other 3. They all look up to her as a, very motivating senior. So there's absolute understanding amongst all of them.
214 पूछिए अपना परिचय भी दे दीजिए।
मंत्री जी, मैं प्रदीप कुमार, हंस इंडियन न्यूज़पेपर से। हाइड्रोजन फ्यूल के बारे में थोड़ा सा आप मुझे बताइए it is a cost effective and how it will be running hydrogen fuel. It is a cost effective. How does it possible to? How does it possible to run a vehicles today and near future?
No, hydrogen fuel cell, it can be made cost effective because the original target is $1 per kg of hydrogen is the target with which we are working. But right now, hydrogen fuel cell related bus and car, this is only the demonstration that the technology works. And when India is coming up with more number of manufacturing units for electrolyzers and fuel cells, because now KPIT has taken, and a small portion has been taken by Reliance also, and Thermax is also working on it. BHEL has recently started. So when we get more number of partners to manufacture it in large scale, we may be able to make it commercially viable.
कि अभी उसकी अवेलेबिलिटी कम है, जितनी जितनी उपलब्धता बढ़ेगी तो कीमत कम होगी, लेकिन डॉक्टर कलाई सेल्वी इसलिए भी बधाई के पात्र हैं कि पहला इंडिजिनस हाइड्रोजन बस पुणे के नेशनल केमिकल लेबोरेटरी से तैयार किया गया प्राइवेट पब्लिक पार्टिसिपेशन में। बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हैं, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाना जरूरी है।
That infrastructure actually is being created under Green Hydrogen Mission. The dispensation centers are being worked out, and for the technology like up to the 350.
उसमें वो दूसरी मिनिस्ट्री भी शामिल है।
MNRE is the nodal agency, and with other ministries it is being implemented as we speak. So the point is how to bring the cost of the green hydrogen low. That's the major thing, and other things will get done. So right now, as she said, it is it is $1 goal, but right now it is about $3 and so on per kilogram. And I'm sure with the technology evolving, it will come down. And as she said, there are hydrogen corridors being planned, A to B, which will have the dispensation centers.
13, 13 number.
Thank you. I'm Anil Handa, Loktantra Kishan. DST has got a target to disburse the amount which they have been allotted. Have you achieved that in last 10 years or maybe this last financial year?
What is, I mean, didn't get the question.
DST,
We have spent the amount, of course.
you
Yes.
disburse the amount total, whatever has been allotted to you.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And on AMR, naphthalene, what is the progress? Like there's a British university which is coming up in Bangalore, so they're also interested in doing research on that. Are you in league with them or is it? Yeah.
अच्छा, वो बायोटेक्नोलॉजी में हो रहा है, वो उस पे चल रहा है हमारा ट्यूबरकुलोसिस। हाँ, बता दो।
काफी सारे प्रोग्राम चल रहे हैं, जैसे ट्यूबरकुलोसिस के लिए एंटी टीबी जो है उसके लिए 10,000 जीनोम्स ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर ने लॉन्च किया था अभी, एंड द होल पर्पस इज टू वेरी रैपिडली आइडेंटिफाई ड्रग रेजिस्टेंट बैक्टीरिया। सिमिलरली नेफेथ्रोमाइसिन जैसे कि एक एंटीबायोटिक बताया जो विच इज अ वेरी वेरी पोटेंट ड्रग दैट हैज बीन डेवलप्ड इन कोलैबोरेशन विद वोकार्ड। सो इस तरह से काफी सारे नए नए प्रोग्राम्स चल रहे हैं एंटी माइक्रोबियल रेजिस्टेंस के एरिया में, डाइवर्स सेक्टर्स।
So they're in a progressive state or like what is the stage like? Vocard ने अगर किया है तो I want to know what is the progress like.
It's going to be in the market soon.
Soon.
वो कार्ड मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रहा है
ना, ठीक। हाँ।
सिर्फ वो आपको कैप्सूल दवाई बना के देगा, या बाकी सारा इन्होंने किया।
Sir, on hydrogen, different colors of hydrogens are there. So would you like to give a same color to the vertical which is there in the energy sector? I suppose there are different technologies to work on that.
So I think different colors are only looking at the source of energy which produces hydrogen. So green hydrogen means that you are using renewable energy. Now, so that's pretty well defined. Now, if you want to talk of other technologies, which I guess that's your question.
No, do you want to merge the technologies or like they will be parallelly going along green, gray, blue.
Oh, okay, okay. See, the gray hydrogen is already happening in steel industry and other industries, so it's not a new thing. The question is, can you replace the gray hydrogen uh, to green hydrogen? That's the question I guess you are asking, and that is what is happening in the green hydrogen mission. So I think now the other debate is, if you use nuclear energy for green hydrogen, what will you call it? So in India, the standard definition which has been adopted now is that if for 1 kilogram of hydrogen, CO2 emission is less than 2 kilograms, then it will be called green hydrogen, irrespective of the source. So it's a more inclusive definition because it will also include biohydrogen, bioroute. So that I think is the green hydrogen definition which India has adopted. So this is something which is now emerging.
Thank you. The next is 678. This is last question.
Thank you very much, Dhirendraji. Here is Shandeep Sharnokar from Bartaman newspaper. You know, Bartaman is West Bengal, one of the largest newspaper. My question is, you are in chikungunya, dengue, and influenza vaccines you are preparing. So, and there is a clinical trial is on. So, within how many days people could get the vaccines, and within how many people's clinical trial is on, and what is the success rate?
So the chikungunya vaccine trial, phase 2 clinical trial has just got completed. Obviously, the data and all is being analyzed right now, and CDSCO will give permission to do phase 3 clinical trial, chikungunya.
Right.
Similarly, for dengue, vaccine has been in an early development phase actually, which is now phase 1 plus trial actually. And these will, obviously the timelines are not predictable, but within next couple of years, we should see complete very good advancement for it in both these cases.
And influenza.
Influenza, actually, there are several important programs that are going on actually in India, and those are much better vaccines as well, have shown very good efficacy as well. I think they will also be in the market and hopefully in next few years.
Challenge is that there are so many viruses actually involved in the pathogenesis of influenza. Sometimes they're also undergoing mutagenesis. So this chase will carry on.
Thank you very much.
The last question is 183.
Sir, Aishwarya from NDTV. Sir, last we spoke about aroma mission and lavender. You told us that after 3-4 months, we can have a clear picture of how this entire farming or the products that are coming up from the aroma mission will be exported worldwide. So what are the steps that have been taken, sir, to have more exports?
No, not exactly worldwide, but of course, it's from the place where you went and saw this, it's now moved out. It's now happening in Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Manipur already started. And I told the Manipur they have a pilot project for Northeast and then possibly Arunachal. So it's now becoming a pan-India phenomena. But we are now, I think the next task should be to raise it to the next level. See, what happened was that when we started off, it proved to be a very lucrative livelihood. So too many boys came into this. Some of them even gave up their corporate jobs to join this. And now, since the number of people into this has increased, obviously the profit made individually by each one of them would become static. And in order to sustain a startup, you need to have a sustained profitability as well. Otherwise, it doesn't. So what we have to now look for is to raise it to the next level. That's exactly what I was saying. We are trying to also learn from the experience of the others, as I mentioned, the grass village in France, how to raise it by adding value to it, by fusing it, and B, by engaging more of private partners. So far, our private participation has been limited to the extent of only marketing, not exactly in the manufacturing part, which has been done primarily by CSIR. So I think we would also now seek that, so that we make it a long-term sustainable vocation for a larger volume of aspirants. Yes, please.
So under Aroma Mission, not only lavender cultivation, we are concentrating on
Floriculture
lemongrass
also is there.
Floriculture is there, lemongrass also. But in the case of lemongrass, already the country exported already several thousands of tons of lemongrass oil in 2023 itself. So lemongrass oil is now getting cultivated across many cities in India, and we started exporting lemongrass. It is
And
also
since it is
coming
there
under
on
Aroma Mission.
online, you will be glad to know many of our NRIs are now, asking for lavender from India instead of purchasing it over there.
सर एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन लेते हैं सज्जन, बहुत देर से 252 अब ये फाइनली है.
No, but I'm glad there's so much of interest in technology, which clearly betrays the popular notion outside about the
Sir.
media preferences. So it's
Sir,
really
मैं-
heartening.
सर मैं अनिरुद्ध शर्मा, दैनिक भास्कर से। काफी सारी बातें हो गई सर। एक वो गगनयान के साथ आप पिछले कई बार बोल चुके हैं कि हम जो समुद्रयान भेजेंगे मत्स्य 6, तो उसका क्या अपडेट है? वो काफी दिन से चर्चा नहीं उसकी सुन रहे, क्योंकि गगनयान की तो काफी आती रहती है। अब से उसका समुद्रयान का क्या अपडेट है अभी?
वो भी अर्थ साइंसेज का ही एक डीप ओशन मिशन का ही पार्ट है। उसमें पहले चरण में 500 मीटर तक सबमर्सिबल एक व्यक्ति जाएगा। उसके बाद जो अल्टीमेट डेप्थ है सी बेड की वो 5000, 6000, 5000, 6000 मैक्सिमम, तो वो फिर उसमें जाएगा। अब हमारी कोशिश ये है कि अभी चूंकि गगनयान में थोड़ा सा विलंब हुआ है, तो 2026 के शुरू में वो संभव है उसका जाना। तो मैं डॉक्टर रविचंद्रन जी से यही उनको सुझाव दे रहा था कि क्या ही अच्छा हो कि एक भारतवासी अंतरिक्ष में जाए और एक समुद्र में जाए, कुछ इस तरह की टाइमिंग हमारी मैच कर जाए। वुड यू लाइक टू ऐड? अनुरोध जी ये बताएंगे।
तो ये 26 में मतलब दोनों ऊपर नीचे जाएंगे हम?
कोशिश खुदा ना करे ऊपर जाने वाला नीचे आए और नीचे जाने वाला ऊपर ना आए, ऐसा मत, क्योंकि हमारे पहले यही प्रयास है कि जो ऊपर गया ठीक ढंग से सुरक्षित नीचे आ जाए और जो नीचे गया सुरक्षित ढंग से ऊपर आ जाए। लेकिन
ये आप 500 बोल रहे हैं, पहले तो मतलब 6000 मीटर तक की बात थी, तो उसमें कुछ डिफरेंस है?
नहीं, उसमें क्या है ना कि 6000 मैक्सिमम है, लेकिन पहले चरण में हो सकता है 6000 सीधा ना जाए, पहले 500 मीटर तक जाए, एक तरह का पायलट प्रोजेक्ट। उसके बाद फिर जैसे
तो
अभी भी हमारा गगनयान
जो हमने मत्स्य बनाया, मत्स्य 6 उसकी कैपेसिटी क्या है? वो कितनी गहराई तक जा सकता है
जी?
जो मत्स्य
मत्स्य, हाँ वो उसी में जाएगा
6000 तक।
हाँ वो उसमें उसकी कैपेसिटी है, लेकिन जो मानव जाएगा उसको पहले चरण में इनका रहेगा कि 5-6 हजार तक जाकर थोड़ा सा उस अनुभव से सीखने को भी मिलता है, क्योंकि अपने किस्म का पहला प्रयास है।
क्या उसमें भी एस्ट्रोनॉट की तरह जो जाएगा उसकी कुछ ट्रेनिंग होगी या उसका कोई सिलेक्शन होगा?
ट्रेनिंग जारी है और उसमें नेवल गार्ड्स भी हैं। यू वांट टू ऐड?
हाँ, वो कौन लोग होंगे, कुछ अगर बता पाए?
Actually, it is unlike Gaganyaan. Here, only one person will be pilot. All other people, normal passenger can go. Actually, as per the Matsya 6000, the vehicle is almost ready. Only some of the new emergency mechanism, if any problem comes, how to come out, that we are working out. And also we want to launching. Now already we have done wet test. Wet test means in the harbor up to 15 meter dive, and it has gone left and right, and it has all the experiments.
I think sometime you could also arrange a conducted visit by them.
Yeah.
आपको
हमने कई बार रिक्वेस्ट किया
है। नहीं अनुरुचि, आपका रुचि देख के अभी बड़े उत्साहित
हुए। We can dip you inside also.
जिस तरह से उसको that is जिस साइंटिफिक फिनिश के साथ उसको किया गया है, जैसे उन्होंने कहा कि नीचे जाएगा और फिर क्या वार्निंग सिस्टम से वो ऊपर आ सकता है, और अगर सभी वार्निंग सिस्टम फेल हो जाए तो एक ऐसा भी व्यवस्था उसमें कायम करने की कोशिश की जा रही है कि वो स्पॉन्टेनियसली आ जाए। जब उसे लगा कि बाकी वार्निंग सिस्टम चलेंगे तो ऑन इट्स ओन इट रियलाइजेस दैट समथिंग इज गॉन रॉन्ग एंड इट विल प्रॉपर यू अप। तो आई थिंक इट्स वर्थ सीइंग। आपको उससे ये भी समझ में आएगा कि किस कदर हमारे वैज्ञानिकों ने उनकी क्षमता में किस कदर इजाफा हुआ है।
Maybe next trial में we will take it, all of you, many of you.
In fact, because actually क्या हुआ था पिछली बार, to tell you honestly, मैंने सुझाव दिया था तो most of the leading houses said that we already have our representatives in Chennai and Bangalore, तो हम वहाँ से भेज देंगे। तो उससे क्या हुआ कि वहाँ के ही लोग ज्यादा आए, लेकिन अगली बार कोशिश करेंगे, which you can sometimes also.
सर अब फाइनली मानसून याद इस बार काफी जल्दी प्रोग्रेस करके यहाँ तक आ गया है, दिल्ली नहीं आ पाया बाई चांस, तो कल आ रहा है मेरे ख्याल से। हाँ, तो अब इस बार हम ये जानना चाह रहे हैं, अगर कोई लास्ट कमेंट में इस तरह से बताएं कि ये जो 2025 का जो मानसून था वो क्या, उसकी क्या स्पेशलिटी रही।
Mahapatra, because the monsoon
हाँ,
obeys
अगर
your
वो
orders.
2-3 लाइन में कुछ एक्सप्लेन कर पाए कि कल जब फाइनली पूरा इंडिया कवर होगा तो क्या।
ये इन्हीं को पूछ के आते हैं जो
हाँ,
बादल,
बिल्कुल।
इनसे पूछ लीजिए।
अभी मानसून लगभग 90% एरिया कवर कर चुके हैं। सिर्फ राजस्थान का कुछ हिस्सा, पंजाब, हरियाणा, चंडीगढ़, दिल्ली बाकी है। और अभी धीरे धीरे भी वो परिस्थिति अनुकूल है कि अच्छा बारिश जारी रहेगा और कुछ हिस्सा और फिर अगले 2-3 दिन में कवर करेगा। आप देखेंगे नॉर्मल के साथ जुलाई 8 तारीख तक पूरे कंट्री कवर होता है और अभी सिर्फ 23 तारीख है, तो इसलिए ये अर्ली डेवलपमेंट हुआ है मानसून प्रोग्रेस का। ये देश के लिए अच्छा कवर है। It is -1% till yesterday. It was -1%. That means just near normal rainfall for the country as a whole. और जहाँ तक वेस्टर्न पार्ट में और ईस्टर्न पार्ट में अच्छा बारिश हुआ है। जहाँ मानसून कवर हो चुका है वहाँ अच्छा बारिश हुआ है। पूरी इंडिया तक हम नहीं बोले हैं, कुछ हिस्सा और कवर करेगा।
बारे में इंटरेस्टेड है। थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। आप सबसे अनुरोध है कि भोजन की व्यवस्था 4th फ्लोर पर है, कृपया ग्रहण करें।
अगर आप भी लेना चाहते हैं देश दुनिया की तमाम जानकारी तो आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें हमारे चैनल को। साथ ही नीचे दिए बेल आइकन को जरूर दबाएं ताकि हर अपडेट आप तक पहुंच सके।